on these Trump-Russia ties, yesterday we had Congressman Al Green, the Reverend Representative Al Green from Texas, and he said that he is going to introduce articles for impeachment of Donald Trump. Are you on board with that?
Look, I think that we just have to make sure that when we introduce them, that they get passed. Mm-hmm. We don't have a majority right now. And I think that the American people, if you look at the polling, the American people still are standing right behind him. So the question really is, what's the right time where if there's enough data there that it would actually move somewhere? Because I think we lose some credibility if we introduce them and they just sit around. So that's the conundrum. You know, I think every day there's something more that drives us closer to being able to lay a case. But there's got to be a case. Otherwise, it's going to be seen as pure political partisanship, and Democrats are going to end up losing out of that. So it's too serious to play games with. I feel like I'm closer and closer with the information I hear, but I haven't seen the documents. I haven't seen memos. I haven't seen the research. I haven't seen any of that. So that's our challenge right now. That's why, Comey, Mueller is a great first step, but it's not enough because we're not getting what we need from the congressional investigations. We had the classified briefing with Rod Rosenstein. There was very little that was classified, I think because he assumed that the minute we walked out of the door, somebody would leak it to somebody else. That seems to be the times that we're in. Leakers. Yeah, well, Theresa May certainly gave her opinion of that in terms of the classified information about the bomber in UK. But I think that it's good to continue to have the American people be woke and to be pushing and to be calling for real accountability. That's what impeachment's about. It's about accountability for things that people hear. So let's figure out if those things are true. Let's make sure we've got the data for it. And the backup for it. And then I think hopefully the American people will come along with it, put pressure on their representatives, and then something will happen. There's no question that there's such egregious wrongdoing happening right now, because even if you don't believe every single one of the things, it's too much smoke to not have fire. So that's where we are.
I think that's a very responsible place to be. I think you're right. And what's so interesting to me is when you look at the Russia stuff and where this goes, I mean, who knows, right? I think it's going to be really, really hard to find Donald Trump colluding with Russia. I think plenty of people around him were. But I think the thing is going to eventually catch up with him is the obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
Like, probably not guilty of collusion, almost definitely guilty of obstruction of justice.
I think the obstruction of justice piece feels really, really solid, assuming those things we heard are true, of course. But one time, I said this on MSNBC the other day, one time you can kind of say, well, he didn't really mean it. But time after time, calling up two directors of national security agencies, telling the director of the FBI to drop the investigation. If all those things are true, it's a pattern. It is obstruction of justice. And if you think back to Watergate, it was when people came forward from the administration and said, hey, I got asked to do this, to drop this investigation. I'm not going to do it. That's what constituted the first count. So we'll see where this goes. But there's no, we need to move on this fast but responsibly so that in the end, democracy is stronger from it.
Yeah.